honestly, we can play this laugh again. When someone suggests the Battle of Ontario is back, this is how I would respond. I don't believe it's back. I don't believe it's back. I think Ottawa's got to get way better.
Meth doesn't have that laugh.
No, Meth is a very serious man, and he joins us now on the Maple Toyota Hotline. Here's our TSN hockey analyst, former Ottawa Senator, Ottawa correspondent Marc Methot. So you're a big believer that the Battle of Ontario is back. Please explain that for us.
Hazy, come on, man. You're already chirping me. I haven't even said anything yet.
Dude, you do it to yourself, Meth, when you tweet out garbage. And I know that you're looking for a response. It's like you wake up, have a coffee, and say, I'm here to piss people off today. And there it is right there. Wouldn't trade Stutzle for Auston Matthews. Auston Matthews is spelt wrong, by the way.
No.
He did that on purpose, too.
It's O-N, and there's two T's.
You don't think he did that on purpose, spelt his name wrong? Just like you said Patrick Kane just made Team Canada when you tweeted
Matt,
that
did
out.
you spell his name wrong? Matt, did you spell his name wrong on purpose?
Yes, I did. I did every time I post his name. I will say that. And
You're a liar.
So are you telling me, though, that that's an incredibly, hot take in a bad way?
Yes. The Stutzle one or the Battle of Ontario? Which one are we on?
Yeah, well, we'll get into both. But the Stutzle one, given the contract and that he's signed at 8 years at $8 million, and the numbers he's putting up right now and the way he's been playing, how could you justify against any? I just don't. I'm trying to figure out where you guys are coming from, just laughing it down the way you are. I get that you might disagree with it, but I don't feel like I'm that far off with it. Am I wrong?
I personally don't think Stutzle is in the same stratosphere as Auston Matthews, personally.
Okay.
And I think you agree with that. I'd be shocked if you didn't.
I do. But the way I look at it now is, if I'm structuring a team accordingly and, you're looking at the contracts, and I know it's not all about just the money. I understand that you clearly have to identify the player and what he's capable of and what he's producing. And Auston Matthews is elite, and there's no question there. I'm just saying that if I am building a team in the way that Stutzle's been playing, yes, it was a bit of I was fishing a little bit with the post, but there was a little bit of truth to it. Anyway, you know what? Let's just move on to the next topic. It was the Battle of Ontario, correct?
Yes.
So
Explain that for us.
Well, I mean, I'm not suggesting that Ottawa is on that same line right now as Toronto. I'm not coming on here boasting about how good they. I mean, they're probably not going to make the playoffs here. Okay, so I'm not trying to compare the two teams. All I know is that having grown up here in Ontario, when those two teams are playing well, it's just more fun to watch. Everything is better. And I honestly think that the way Ottawa's tracking now, going into next season especially, I mean, I think they aren't tap-ins for Toronto anymore. You know what I mean? So if the games can just ramp up a little bit more, which I think they will, when I say ramp up, I'm referring to the hostility and maybe more of the antics. I feel like you're not going to get the same stuff you had in the early 2000s. Obviously, the game has changed dramatically since. But I do think that now that Ottawa's competitive and they're putting up a fight when they're playing against them, I think there's an argument to be made there. That's all I'm saying. I think I mean it in a positive light for both teams.
Well, believe me, I want it to return as much as you do. I love the idea of both teams being playoff locks and really having that history. It's the best history going, at least from a Toronto perspective, in the late 90s and early 2000s. And I hope it returns. I'm not against that by all means. I think Ottawa needs to catch up more before it officially returns. And I would suggest people in Ottawa stop selling their tickets. If it's such a meaningful battle, why is it 75% Leaf fans in the building?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, Matt,
there.
What is that vibe like with the Leaf fans in the building? Does it create a great atmosphere, or are the players like, what the hell's going on here? Like, this is our home barn and there's all these white jerseys. What is the vibe?
When I got there in 2012, that was the lockout year. I think the play came back in January, whatever. But I was completely unaware. Growing up in Ottawa, I knew how many fans there were around here, and I'm referring to the Leaf fans, of course. But I didn't really know what that meant for the home games, right? So that first game that we played Toronto that year, I remember guys in the room saying, "Okay, guys, let's get the fans out of this one early." And I'm looking around going, like, what? What do you mean? And then you go out, obviously for warm-up, you start to see it. And then at game time, it's crazy, man. It's frustrating from a player's point of view, obviously, because you're in your own barn. and there's that sense of pride that you want to overwhelm them. You want the fans behind you, but it just is what it is. I mean, we're literally wedged between two original six teams within 6 hours if you go from Toronto to Ottawa, or to Montreal rather. So, I mean, that's just the reality of the situation. And I think if you're an Ottawa fan, you're just hoping that over the next generation coming in, all these kids growing up aren't going to be growing up Leafs fans, and hopefully Ottawa fans. But yeah, it sucks. There's no way around it. It's just one of those things.